Hi, it is the Human Operating System time. This channel is for educations and technology only. So after I have shared the video on the 1850s versions of Wing Chun, namely the combinations of the sticking body short strike, many of our Wing Chun friends have messaged me asking me that is it possible to use the 1960 Wing Chun body mechanic for the 1850s sticking body short strike combinations. And that is why I like to share with you this video today. The short answer is no, you cannot use the 1960s Wing Chun body mechanics to run the 1850s sticking body short strike combinations. And I'd like to share with you what's going on. So as we know that the Wing Chun version 1960, it is a primary linear type of momentum handling or impulse momentum handling. So you have the immobile elbow and the mechanics, the body mechanics is handling this linear momentum, namely like the chain punch and so forth, the push forward, press forward, chain punch forward, and snapping those kinds of impulse momentum. So that is the body mechanics for the Wing Chun version 1960. Now, for the Wing Chun version 1850 sticking body short strike combinations, it is no longer a linear type of impulse momentum handling. It has both the linear and angular momentum handling. Thus, for example, like this first move in the combinations, it actually it attack in an angle in, okay, or go sideways and angle straight in, and then go straight in, and then it turns, okay, which is the angular momentum. This is a linear momentum, angular momentum. And also you notice that at this point there is no longer the immobile elbow. It doesn't at this close range it is not using the immobile elbow type of mechanics, which is using in the 1960s. So these are two different type of mechanics. And if we go closer to look into the reality means at sticking body range, body development needs to be able to handle imperfect struggling. So for example, this is coming from sideways. You see that this is this elbow here is no longer the immobile elbow type of strike. So this one is actually this one. Is actually this one. You see this? Okay, so in the real life, it is this. So this might not get perfect. So the angle here, the distance of the elbow and so forth, it always is not perfect. So it has to have some variations of the elbow position. Okay, so that's what it means that there's an imperfect struggling there. So the body development of the 1850s body mechanic has to take in considerations of that. And also, like this is the real life in the throw, depend on the angle. Okay, this is the throw thing. One will face struggling, okay, because you try to throw somebody at this close, your opponent is not going to let you throw. They are going to struggle. So one's body mechanic needs to be able to handle it. So, for example, if you look at like the dog try to shake the body's water away, if you try to grab a dog which is trying to shake their body, the water in their body away, see how difficult it is. Okay, so at those situations, at this close situations, the body has to be integrated pretty strongly. Otherwise, one's body will disintegrate, depend on the opponent. Okay, so a linear momentum type of body mechanics, like in the 1960 version, will not be able to handle it at this close. Okay, and also over here, when the opponent, the timing of this getting in, the elbow position will be different, because there is no perfection there. Okay, thing will be off. Okay, timing can be off, angle can be off. So the body has to be able to adapt and handle. Okay, so that is the 1850s body mechanics, which is the 1960 version is not trained for that, it's not developed that. Okay, so if you look even closely for the Wing Chun version 1850s body mechanics, you see there's a center axis, and then the entire thing has to be able to tore and this be able to snap, and all those joints, which is the 7 bolts, has to be intact. Okay, and also the 4 biomechanic handles, this all has to be in one piece. Okay, and then the handling of the force or force flow, whether it's linear, it is in a spiral version, and the depth of it involved. Okay, because at those situations, one really need all this handling, the strength handling or the force flow handling, the body, the biomechanic handle, the different part of the handling of the momentum, impulse momentum, the bolts, the 7 bolts here, and the torque, all sort of stuff. So one need to develop all this in order to be able to handle this as the minimum. And for those of you who have the book Beginning Wing Chun, you can see the 7 bolts and the torque is described there. This basic Wing Chun art and science, you have the force flow stuff, and then the Wing Chun matrix, there is the 4 biomechanic handling, the handles. So in other words, that say for this biomechanics handles, at the first going in, you need to be able to handle your impulse momentum biomechanics handles. Okay, and then you get straight into that. All this impulse momentum has to be handled properly. This is a linear thing. Now, when you get into the angular thing, all those handles has to be intact. Okay, it has to be practically very well integrated because you're handling the impulse momentum there. And then, because this thing is at close body like that, for example, that means that one need to play force flow. The force flow with the opponent, which is this thing. The action-reaction force, is a force a direct one or is a spiral one, and how deep it is. One need to be able to play that way. Otherwise, one really cannot play over here. Okay? And of course, it is about talking thing when you get into the struggling in really close, like over here. Over here you have direct or linear and some talking, but the handling of this and handling of this is different. And over here, because of the hand is really close, the strike is really close, still one need to be able to make use of this thing to see what type of strike you want, how deep you want to get in. Okay? So this mechanics in this book, this in this book, this in this book, all this is needed to develop, okay, in order to play this in the reality. In order to play this, one need that. One really need you need those kind of training. Otherwise, one will get disintegrate at contact. Okay, so this is to share with you that it cannot the 1960 versions body mechanics. Even if you know the combination, this mechanic it cannot support it. Okay. So I hope that you see clearly now that the speciality of the 1850 is sticking body short strike, and it fought this close, and it has to deal with all kinds of imperfection and oops here. So you need all those this type of a component to develop the body. So hope that this is clear for you, okay? And that's why, again, I categorize different versions of Wing Chun, because we need to be really carefully, this is technical stuff, so that we know it's like the tools. You have a plier, you have a screwdriver, you know what is good for what and what is the requirement. There is no such thing as a one thing fit all. Okay, so this is to share with you today.